Orb on the Movements of the Earth, episode 21. We're carrying very precious cargo. What are the chances that Schmidt can keep his mouth shut and cannot ramble on and lecture them and chastise them for doing what's unnatural? I guess if that fails, he can just pull them up. Did you guys see that explosion earlier? Isn't that crazy? Plausible, yeah. A lot of crazy people around these parts, blowing themselves up. A lot of crazy heretics around these parts, or so I've heard. By the way, what was that explosion earlier? Is this for real? Always with the fake outs. We know a thing or two about cloth. Oh, you just let him slip right by you? Oh, it's the thing Yolenta gave him. That was destiny. That's also beautiful. Actually. Wow. We actually pulled it off. But at what cost? Yolenta saved them twice. That's been a repeated thing, yeah. She really took it to heart. Oh wait, she didn't give it. Oh, I thought that was Yolenta's robe. She gave up her old robe for the new one, which is more symbolically interesting. I'm the Yolenta now. It's hard to see because the show's so dark all the time. It's so dark. It's very hard to see sometimes. That's my biggest criticism of Orb on the Movements of the Earth. That and like the head tattooing. That was kind of wild. Anyway, Draka throwing off the old coverings for the new, which will not be her last, most likely. It's kind of crazy. We're just putting on a hoodie, but it has so much significance. Really carrying Yolenta on our shoulders now. I don't know if they would. Would you? Is that unnatural? Huh, it's a deeply personal touch. She really gave her a lot, like a real lot. The question is, who is that really for? Sort of simultaneously for everyone. As far as like bang for your buck interactions go, I'm hard pressed to imagine something that could be greater than what Yolenta gave Draka in that interaction, or their few interactions. I think that there are a couple different dimensions to look at here. One is perhaps the more obvious one of like, by keeping the vision of someone alive, you know, by honoring someone from the past, though logically maybe it seems useless because that person can't receive anything. There's probably a lot that it does for us, you know, to hold that memorial. Because it's significance. We're trying to tap into these touchstones, you know, these symbols of things that are bigger than us and greater than us, and therefore we can't really always hold in their fullness. You know, we need something bigger than ourselves to like revisit again and again to sort of rekindle that. And you know, the memories of others, people who have come before us, you know, the love we felt for them, the contributions they've made, even honoring their failures, it can be pretty staggering, and it's a reminder of why these things matter, the honor and legacy in them. And I mean, there's just so much there. There's something to it that's similar to that scene from Interstellar, you know, where love is the one thing that can transcend the dimensions or whatever it is. Not to say it's time travel, but there's something about it that transcends time or transcends the lifespan of a person. You know, you're connecting to someone in a very tangible, practical way, even if it's not physically, materially. Then this might sound contradictory, but maybe just to target the sort of pessimistic side of it of like, well, no one's going to remember my name. Eventually that is true. You know, there's something inevitable about that. Draka can hold Yolenta's memory, and then someone can hold Draka's memories, but then fast forward 20 generations and no one's going to know who Draka or Yolenta are. Or if they do, they're going to be sort of a character of history. You know, people will know their name, but won't really know them in their full depth of character the way Draka knows Yolenta. But I think what's nice about that, it sort of doesn't matter if we can put a name to it or a face to it or be specifically cognizant of all the little details of it for that thing to still be very much alive. It's sort of alive indeed, you know, it's alive in the progression of cause and effect throughout history. For all the people whose names we know that we think positively contributed to our lives, there are a million people maybe who also contributed but will never know. But that's okay because the contribution is still there, you know, they're still in there. And I think maybe that's the point over like the fame, you know, or the accolades long after you're dead. It perhaps only doesn't feel that way if we're looking at the long-term picture using our very short-term desires, you know, getting that attention, the accolades, wanting to be well liked, you know, because those affect our immediate matters over sort of like what I would argue is more important, the long-term contribution. Are we able to look at the sun yet? Have we cured the sun thing? This is a dicey situation. He looks like Flosh, speaking of which. There's so much that's sacred here. So much could go wrong. People can betray you. It's too many cooks right now. And she has Yolenta's approval. Why do I feel so uneasy? Can we trust you? From my perspective, you're the one in doubt. Or some of you, especially the guy who looks like Flosh.
見かけはボロいが紛れもねえ。印刷機だ。
Wow, imagine the power. When other people see just wooden blocks in a chair, I see a tool that can change the world. Yeah, it's a big blow. She meant a lot to everyone.
そうか。
We're all putting on a brave face.
この世界の風通しを良くすることだ。既存秩序と対峙し、新たな地平を次世代に広げることだ。
Pretty noble goal.
どんな雄弁も語りを止めれば声は消える。どんな支柱も時が経てばいつかは朽ちる。
That sort of speaks to that point earlier, yeah.
信念を固定化し、思想を可視化し、瞬間を永遠に。今を遠い場所へ。
Communicate with the future.
または別の誰かのところへ。
Beautiful way to articulate that.
これより出版活動を開始する。
Never before have books been this cool. Who could have thought they can make publishing books epic? Some people write out against giant foes, speaking of Attack on Titan. Other people sit in a shack and print words. And then connecting the two is My Hero Academia, which explicitly makes this point about no small players. I've sometimes thought and probably said, it's the person who can formulate these narratives for the things they need to do that other people would consider mundane. That is the mark of somebody who can do anything. We watch this epic speech, but then what the reality will be is they're going to sit in this dark shack and like do manual labor for weeks if not years. And it's going to be really boring. But if they can in any way get close to the emotions with which Schmidt just made that speech, they'll do it joyfully. It is cool, right? Speaking of the interstellar thing, of things that sort of transcend the rules, the normal barriers, media also is an example of that. Such a beautiful forging of something otherwise formless and intangible. And I would feel remiss to not point out, very unnatural. This is a great example of man-made beauty. Humans did that. Humans figured out writing and video and stuff. Story. Oh no, I just got spoiled while paused. However, a trader brings their operation to a halt. I knew it. Who's it gonna be? It's gonna be the Flish Flosh looking dude. I just know it. Something about that haircut just guarantees you're gonna betray someone. Oh my god, and this is just so heartbreaking now. I swear to god, I spent the whole show expecting some sort of beautiful, heartfelt reunion. It's heart-wrenching. Episode 21, The Times Are Changing.
記念すべき1ページ目。本のタイトルは
Orb on the Movements of the Earth.
地球の運動について。
No orb, just on the movements of the Earth.
発行人として表紙に名前を組むのはどう？
That would be okay.
いいだろう。
了解。
What a great honor, especially considering her origin story.
何文字か割れち
It
ま
was
っ
a
た。
rough trip. It's okay. What do we need P for?
あの時か。
Was that deliberate sabotage? Are you the traitor?
くそ。
A lot of them are broken.
だぜ。
And I mean, I will, from here out, I will avoid using that letter. There goes nuance, my favorite word.
しょうがねえ。一時中断だ。
That was a short operation.
町で鉛を入手する。
Operation Acquire Lead commence.
これは
Your blood
だ
money.
から溶かせば使えない。
Wow, you have to sacrifice for your conviction. Sometimes you have to sacrifice your conviction for your conviction.
それより早く印刷を見たい。
Looks like we've done a lot of wandering. We've got a bunch of skilled artisans in this rebellion.
これが活版印刷。
Wow, it's got her name on it.
すれるだけするぞ。君たちは町で鉛を入手できないか探れ。
You gotta do one page at a
怪
time,
しまれ
right?
ないようにな。残りのものは可能な範囲で組版を。
I guess if you have multiple typesetting things. When thinking about this at first, I'm like, this would take a lot of time. And that made me immediately realize how many levels of stupidity you could use to undertake this task. There's a huge range of efficient to inefficient. He's wearing the gloves now too. Oh,
あ
it's
と
a he.
数日で輸送に移れるでしょうか。
ああ、さすがの印刷術だ。
Watch out, Schmidt.
始ま
Watch
れば
out.
早い。これが成功すれば。
Oh no, your back is so exposed right now.
馬の見張り番行ってきます。
ああ、
What's on your mind?
これで我々の目的へ一歩近づく。すべて計画通りだ。何の問題も
This is when I'd be the most nervous. This is always when I'm the most nervous, right before things happen, that final step where it becomes meaningful.
私はヨレンタさんの思いを引き継ぐ。
He seems to be really reflecting on
す
it.
べては神の思惑通り。
It's okay to wonder.
憂慮など不要。
It's okay to have feelings, Schmidt.
ここがブレては私の目的など達成できん。
Conviction is something you find through wandering. Morality is something you find through wandering. Whatever it was. The translation was sort of weird, but you know what I mean, Schmidt. For all my ranking on his ideas, though, I will say there's something I really like about him. I'm gonna judge his spoken rationalization just because he's saying it, but like, I don't even necessarily think his verbal rationalization of what he's doing is the most important thing. For starters, I think a lot of times people don't understand their own motivation, or they misrepresent to themselves even their own underlying motivations and inner workings. It's alright. You can sort of see it on net as it comes out through a person's deeds. And he has a lot of great qualities. I mean, I think part of the interesting thing about his character, part of the intrigue is that, it's not hard to imagine it going wrong, but I mean, at least as far as what we've seen so far, it seems to be for a noble purpose. You could maybe have a little bit more regard for human life, but
会長
what are you thinking? Oh no! At a moment like this.
この任務
It
は
was so abrupt.
我が組織にとって最重要と言ってもいい計画でしたよね。
You don't have to answer now.
だからここがバレたら大惨事ですよね。
What do you... What?
ここにいた馬たちは唯一の移動手段
They're
で
dead
したよ
now.
ね。
He was not actually taking care of the horses. Oh, Schmidt has not died yet. Okay. Right? He wasn't stabbed? He's unharmed? Why? Who do you work for? The church? He's unarmed, except for a knife. The fact that he managed to block that is astounding. Oh no! Yeah, he is no joke. That was pretty badass, but the damage sort of been done.
数十分もすれば騎士団が来る。
Tell me why.
こっちの勝ちは確定だ。
We have Draka.
どこに使えてる？
どこにも。強いて言うなら神と正義かな。
Do you hate Heliosexism that much?
俺はな、ずっと憎かったんだ。貴様らみたいな異端のクズどもが
I
な。
did a great job keeping that to the chest. I bet there were signs that I missed.
何人もの騎士団を殺した共犯だぞ。
Speaking of value for human
信念のため
life,
必要
right?
な
Of
犠
course,
牲だ。
it's always a necessary sacrifice. Everything I want is worth necessary sacrifices.
白状するのが早すぎじゃないか。騎士団が到着してからでなけれ
We can
ば
run.
我々はまだ
And we
逃
have
げられる。
it here. It's all up here.
これは慈悲だよ。
慈悲？
ああ、時間をあげてるんだ。
What?
自分の浅はかさを理解する時間、絶望する時間、そして改心する時間を。
This guy's just insane.
貴様らの苔にした教会正統派は間違ってませんと。
Oh man. Initially, it rings sort of like a caricature, right? But it's not like this never happens or it's not real. I have this vague feeling like I've been talking about this over and over again for a long time. I think it's because there's something I'm trying to get to that is hard to articulate, but especially recently I've been thinking a lot about scales of value and how so much gets illuminated by understanding what level of value you're at, what the leading one is. I mean, the fact that there are levels at all is huge, and how by going up or deeper or whichever way is better on the value scale, a lot of the lower level ones end up looking the same. There's sort of a dimensional element to it where you go to the next one and you see previous ones in sort of 2D and you realize how similar they are because they're serving the same thing, even though that's disguised. And on a practical level, how this often gets exposed, how you realize people are playing a lower game. Something happens that should be good for the stated aim, but it's not celebrated. This comes up all the time in politics, right? Where something good happens, or like you probably would celebrate it if it had been done by someone you've pre-approved, someone's on your side, but because it's on the opposite side, it has to be spun in a negative light. It can't be acknowledged as a good thing. Well, that's a pretty clear sign that actually the value game there is not about the good thing happening or about, well-being of others, for example, or things just going well in general, but more about winning, destroying an enemy, feeling validated and justified in my stance and my identity, etc., etc. There's a bunch of them. And I think that this sort of behavior, this really deep-seated revulsion of people who don't agree, regardless of the evil that is being perpetrated, I think often comes about when that value thing, the deepest level of value that someone is aiming for or attached to deep down, is actually sort of sympathetic. It's like you're looking for validation in the world and you feel like you're not safe. There's something about the side or the idea or whatever it is that is a cornerstone and pillar of your identity that you need in order to feel like you're not vulnerable to like attack by the world. Cynically and tragically, it's this very thing that often is targeted by malicious actors within groups to make it feel like everyone who doesn't agree with you does want to harm you, which is not to say that like nobody wants to harm you, but intellectual disagreement, having an opinion is not the same thing as wanting to harm someone. I'm oversimplifying, but I think if it's at this level of revulsion and hatred and disgust it's probably some fear being activated. You know, there's something that makes you treat the other person or that group or that idea itself as like a pathogen. You know, it's going to come in and invade and infect me and infect the people around me and infect my society, and then I'm in danger. And I think almost everyone has this in some way. You know, it's really hard to like have none of this. So I'm not even trying to like single anything out or like judge anyone here. It's just something to be overcome, right? It's just really good to be aware of this phenomena. If you're on the outside of it, if like in this area of discussion, like I think with the show right now, we're looking for something higher than like, you know, the survival that comes from being in a group and that group being strong enough to stand on its own legs. You can see how it sort of is something else, how it's not about that. You're seeing it in 3D. If they were just to sort of like get a little bit deeper with it, you know, you're going to be all right. There are things that are more important here. Even if like it is really important, maybe human life is more valuable than this might seem ridiculous to him as well. I know he's saying that this is for God. I don't super buy that because of the emotion, right? Like the glee he's exhibiting, that's not mercy. You know, he can say it's mercy. He can say it's for God, but there's no remorse here. There's no caring or compassion here, right? Like he's hoping that they get punished. He's hoping that they suffer. That sort of shows where it's really at. Speaking of like, you know, what people actually are. No thanks. Nope. Oh, wow. Not only will I not say it, you will not say anything else. Yeah, okay. There's nothing there, man. Oh, it was him. Oh my god. Oh my god. It was him. Whoa. Did not expect that. I remember. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, speaking of fear. No. Poor kid. Yeah. We know. Get Draka. Damn it, Frey. So does that mean the guy with the flish flash haircut isn't a trainer? I'm shocked. Oh yeah, the no horse thing that's a problem. That's a big issue. We have to scatter on it, honestly. Oh yeah. Not a great hiding place. That's reassuring. Draka must survive. That's what I was thinking, yeah. They can't chase all of us. Draka is a thinker. Draka is a strategist. There's an option C here. Option A, fight. Option B, run in different directions. Option C. Okay. You could say she's a captive. Oh, option C, you die and I live. I mean, for the goal, this really is the most important thing. It's Draka's life. Hit us with it. Oh, this is gonna be good. You know it's gonna be good because we didn't hear it. This is bold enough to work, whatever it is. Oh, is it Novak? Could it be Novak? Just, you know, your lives. Just give your lives. How many knights are there? I feel like it's a critical detail. That's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. You have to sacrifice for our convictions. Yeah, right. Yeah, letting it up to chance. Scattering in the wind is risky.
たとえ君以外の数人が逃げ切れても、その先で印刷機を手に入れ。
Damn it, Frey.
こういう行き詰まった時のいい方法を知ってる。神に聞きましょう。
It all comes back to coins in the end. This is also definitely speaking Schmidt's language. This is just natural.
待て。
Oh?
君はこのやり方で決めていいのか？
No? But what else am I going to do here, man? Like, nights are closing in. Do you know any money tricks? Wait, you have to specify first. Okay, I guess it's however it falls.
表だ。
This sometimes will also tell you how you really feel, right? I do this with people around me. I make them promise to stick to the decision that the coin dictates, but then right before I reveal it, I ask them which one they're hoping for, and that illuminates what they actually want to do. Because in that moment of suspense, you're probably hoping for one over the other, and that sometimes can be helpful in revealing which one that is. Because when it comes to these sort of binary choices, it's not always that, you know, we're equally split between this and that. It's more like there's actually one we prefer, but we're scared of the consequences of it.
みんなで逃げよう。
Okay, that wasn't Draka's plan, but you might change your mind now that you've heard it out loud. Schmidt. This would be interesting because it would cut against what he's been saying this whole time, right? And he switched it to tails. That's very unnatural,
君
Schmidt.
が逃げろ我々が守る
My man Schmidt has wandered.
隊長、それは提案ですか？
It's an order.
命令だ
了解。
Wow. This is an amazing group all around. I mean, that they're willing to give their life for this and for Draka. That's no small thing, you know? It's beyond words. Yolenta would be proud. Yolenta put the mission in the right hands. Except for Frey. Can't believe it, Frey. Is it really going to be that Draka talks to Novak? Am I seeing that correctly? That's a really tough sell, but would be really compelling. Speaking of changes of heart and wandering, right? I'm sort of terrified for it, though. And not even so much because of the danger for Draka, though there's plenty of that. I'm thinking ahead to, like, Novak realizing that he witnessed his daughter's death. That's not something that is going to be easy to overcome. Novak having a change of heart would be one of the biggest redemption arcs that I can imagine.